Kenya is the most stable democracy in Africa.
Tell the rogue ambassador, Kenya is not United States. Kenya is not a colony of the United States. Keep your mouth shut when you hear. Otherwise, you will call for your recall back to your country.
These are the friends who are working with us.
Ce qui est le problème, c'est de voir des chefs d'État africains qui n'apportent rien à ces peuples qui se battent, mais qui chantent la même chose que les impérialistes.
And people need to know that there is a base here which can flatten South Africa in less than no time if America decides to fight with us.
Amidst the growing resentment towards the West and Western influence on the African continent, led by some African leaders like the Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga, the Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traoré and South African opposition leader Julius Malema, the Kenyan President William Ruto has come to the defense of the West and called on fellow Africans to leave the West alone and embrace its presence on the continent. Speaking on August 18, 2023, that's a day after the Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga warning the American ambassador to Kenya to keep her mouth shut and keep off Kenyan issues, the Kenyan president blasted Raila, saying that he was actually being petty and disrespectful by making those remarks. That, in any case, Mrs. Meg Whitman had merely stated facts when she said that Kenya is the most stable democracy in Africa, which just had the most peaceful and transparent election in 2022 and it's ripe and open for investments.
Adjusted for GDP, Kenya receives significantly more venture capital than anywhere else on the continent, generating roughly triple the venture capital to GDP ratios of Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa.
On why he was defending the West, the president said that the West and particularly America and the European Union are good partners for Africa, or rather his country Kenya. That, the West is not only the #1 export destination for Africa's produce and merchandise, but also its top foreign direct investments destination, and therefore its presence on the African continent is highly appreciated. Listen to him speak on the matter with passion here.
I want to confirm to you that we will move forward together. We will work with all our partners, and I must thank all our partners. I must thank the German government, the EU, all the countries we have in the continent that are working with us, the American government being the largest export destination of our country. Today in the afternoon, I will be meeting MCC, one of the American companies that wants to invest about 7 billion initially, and then about 100 billion later, because we want to create opportunities for us to grow as a nation. In the last 1 year, with the American government alone, we've created investments, whether it is Moderna, which is going to invest almost 70 billion in a vaccine factory in Kenya, or others in the technology space that is going to give us almost 200 billion of investment in Kenya. These are the partnerships. These are the friends who are working with us as a country to grow our own country, the same way GIZ is working with us on this program of Tujiajiri and giving skills to the young people. We need to work with others in a space that creates a win-win. And we must also be intentional as Kenyans. We must know what we want. You know, we cannot, let me tell you, good people, we cannot in this time and age. It will be a tragedy of monumental proportions if in this time and age we want to glorify demonstrations that are violent, that destroy property, that destroy people's hustles, that destroy opportunity, that sabotages our economy. I mean, we would be a very reckless people if we were to glorify such. On the other hand, we would be very ungrateful for us to vilify the people who are creating opportunities for us. We have 200 billion investment from the American government. We have huge investments from Germany. We have huge investments from other countries. We must know what are our interests, and we must secure those interests. And I want to encourage all of us as leaders to focus on the things that bring opportunities to millions of young people, to millions of citizens of Kenya. We must not be petty. We must not, be looking at things that are personal. We want to move this forward. In any case, the American ambassador said 2 statements of facts. She said the last election was the freest and the fairest in the history of Kenya, which is a statement of fact. She said Kenya is open for business, which is also a statement of fact. I mean, surely, let us have some decorum and respect ourselves as we demand respect from others. I was just imagining between the people who are orchestrating destruction of property and sabotaging our economy, and those who are working with us to create investment opportunities and investment capital for the people of Kenya. Between those two, I was wondering who is actually rogue. I think it's for the people of Kenya to judge.
It's worth noting that he was saying this just moments after meeting the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, Mrs. Meg Whitman, in the company of the Delaware Senator Christopher Coons at State House in Nairobi. After that State House meeting, he said that Kenya is keen on enhancing its relations with the United States to expand trade and investment opportunities for citizens of both nations. That they held talks on global security issues, climate change, and Kenya's progressive path of devolution. Do you support the Kenyan president's move to defend the West, at this time when other Africans are accusing Western powers of perpetuating neocolonialism and imperialism on the African continent?
Kenya is the regional logistics hub. Kenya is the leading regional financial hub. And Kenya, with its Silicon Savannah and super smart engineers, is the region's ICT hub.
We have seen huge investments in the health sector, in water, agriculture, roads, etc.
Without a doubt, corruption is a critical issue and one that must be addressed for Kenya to reach its full potential in all areas of development.
We must ensure that corruption does not happen at county level. That has always been.
Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe before leaving.